Good afternoon. This is Bob with County Records Research. Today is January 5th, 2017, and we're beginning our introductory webinar on how to use the website. County Records Research has been helping people to acquire properties for over 35 years now, and we've made some special changes in our website, and we wanted to do a special introductory session on how to use the site itself. You're looking at the home page right now for County Records Research. Up at the top, you'll see our logo and our 800 number. Now, partially hiding the second part of the 800 number is our little chat window there, and that's the way that you access our chat line to get your questions answered in real time, Monday through Friday from 9 to 6. As long as it says online, you'll know that we're accessible to answer your questions immediately. Now, just below the chat balloon, you'll see that I've got my foreclosure processing section. This is for clients that are looking for information and help on processing foreclosure documents. If you have a note and a deed of trust and you need help with a foreclosure, a lot of your valuable information is included in the subsections here, where you can learn how to start a foreclosure. You can learn about the trustee timeline. You can get access to forms you might need, a glossary of terms, and contact us so that you can send us questions if you need to learn more about the process before you get started. Next to that is our pricing information. If I click on that, this opens up a window that opens up all my pricing information so that I can purchase my different county zones. And I want to bring your attention to something that's brand new as of this week. You'll notice that we have a total of 5 states available. We have California, Nevada, Arizona, Washington, and Oregon. So now we have 5 states. We cover the whole West Coast, and we also have Nevada and Arizona. So it's a wonderful opportunity to pick up foreclosure property information for one small price. Now, all of our zones are $195. 2 zones is $154, and 1 zone is $89. Every one of our pricing packages includes unlimited consultation and advice. And if you're buying properties in Los Angeles County, we also have a bidding service where we can place a bidder at the courthouse and buy properties on your behalf simply by going ahead and bidding in response to the opening bid. You tell us the most you're willing to spend on a property, and our bidder is there for you, open to close, rain or shine, and you can bid as many times as you want. The key is to have the price in mind that you're willing to pay and the cashier's checks to back it up, and all you have to do is be right once, and you can get a wonderful price point on a great property. Okay, so these are our pricing options on the site. Next to that is our free trial option, and this is how you get started with a free trial. So before you end up paying for the service, jump in and take advantage of our 5-day free trial. You can have all the zones if you want to, or just focus on one area or anything in between. Remember, free is a great 4-letter word. It actually gets you right into the site, gets you all the access to the detailed information to see why people love our service, and it gives you a chance to really ask the questions you want to ask and get to feel more about the process of buying foreclosure properties. Now, next to that is my login option, and next to that is our About Us page that tells you more about County Records Research and what we do. And next to that, of course, is our home option that takes me right back to the home page where we started. Now, since I'm at the home page, I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and we're going to see a little bit more about the company as I scroll down to the bottom. And this is our control bar to go to the various internal sections of the website. You'll notice from left to right, we have some basic overview information about us, our privacy policy, our calendar of coming events. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. This is to show you seminars that we have coming up. And we have a variety of different training events, including webinars like this one. Okay, now first of all on this page we see the upcoming foreclosure field trip. This is a seminar, but it's a daytime seminar scheduled directly in conjunction with the actual auctions that are held in a specific county. In this particular example, we're going to be in Santa Ana at 700 Civic Center Drive in Santa Ana. That's Orange County, California. And we're going to be there at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. and that's because the auctions themselves are scheduled right about 1:30. So normally what we do is we set the time for the event a little bit before, about half an hour before the auctions are set to begin, so you can get a chance to get settled, and if you're a few minutes late, you know you're not going to miss anything, and you're going to get a chance to actually get questions answered by Kurt, the person who's been doing this for over 30 years, almost 36 years now. He's been helping people to research properties, helping people to purchase properties, buying properties for himself, and even processing foreclosures. So if you want to talk to the guy with experience that's going to be able to answer all your questions, his name is Kurt Demir, and he's going to be outside the courthouse entrance at 1 o'clock at 700 Civic Center Drive in Santa Ana on January 13th. That's a Friday, lucky Friday the 13th for somebody who's going to be bidding at that location and buying a property, we hope to see. Now, below that, if I scroll down further, this is our GoToMeeting website demonstrations. As an example, that's what we're doing right now. If you're viewing this on our YouTube channel, then you should know that you can access these events live every Wednesday and every Friday from 2:30 to 3:30, and our focus on Wednesdays, like today, is to introduce you to the website itself, to teach you the nuts and bolts of the site, to show you the different features and benefits of County Records Research as a provider of data, and to give you an opportunity to learn process. Okay, so attending our Wednesday webinars will teach you how to research, teach you how to save properties, and teach you how to make the website do work for you to save you time and money. But in addition to that, our Friday presentations are more focused on actually looking at properties and determining where the deal is within that property. Every foreclosure property is a potential deal. Some are a better deal at better times than others, and some are a deal from point A to point Z. As long as you know what you're looking for and how to examine a property, you can learn how to make the most of the website and make the website work for you. So here are Wednesday presentations. Here's our Wednesday presentation that we just recently did on January 4th, and it includes the live link to join the live presentation. That was good for Wednesday. Now, since I'm doing this on Thursday, I would just want to point out that the very next one I'm going to be doing is tomorrow. So that's going to be our Friday presentation. Again, that's our deal building webinar for advanced investors, where we do a quick search on properties and we go down the report looking at each individual profile and asking ourselves how to get the deal. Okay, so that's our deal building webinar. But again, join us for Wednesday to learn how to use the site like we're going to look at right now, and join us on Friday to learn how to find the deal. Now, below that is always going to be our upcoming evening speaking engagements. Once in a while, you'll get a daytime speaking engagement in this area because we do get invited to do some certain special events. And I believe we've got one coming up in April in the Nevada county of Clark County, where Las Vegas is located. But this one is in Orange County. This is OCFIBI, that's Orange County for Investors by Investors. And Kurt's going to be speaking from about 7 till about 9 p.m. on January 10th. That's a Tuesday evening, and that's at this address at 18800 MacArthur Boulevard in Irvine. I believe that's directly across from John Wayne Airport. It's a very easily accessible hotel right off the freeway. It's going to be a nice big meeting. There's going to be a good 100 plus people there, at least 150 is what I'm hearing. So that should be a really great opportunity to network and meet like-minded people. Okay, so that's our calendar of seminars. This is updated every week, so make sure you keep up abreast of changes in our webinar schedule, as well as our daytime and evening events. Now, below that, if I go further down the page, again, I'm right back to my control panel. So below the calendar of events is our terms of use. If you want to see what the terms of use are for the site itself, our blog. Now, this is something that I add to on a frequent basis. This is a series of articles of successes that people have gotten by using the data from the website. So this is one article on a winter win. Somebody got a condo in West LA with over $100K in equity. Here's a property with over $500,000 in equity that somebody got on a property, got a great deal. And as I go down the blog list, there's article after article. And further down, there's an archive that literally goes back years. So you have a chance to look at successes people have gotten month after month, year after year. We try to add at least a couple of blog articles on a regular basis. So just remember that that blog is updated at least a couple times a month so you can see deals that somebody just got, fresh deals, fresh opportunities that could have been yours, to get an example of exactly what you can do with the data. Now below that is our contact us option. That's how you can send us questions or just simply send us a request for information by email. And below that is our register now option, which just like the setup for the free 5 days, you can jump in and hit register now, pick your zone options, and go ahead and set up an account right away. Now, in the next section, we have our affiliate login. County Records Research has an affiliate program. If you're someone that likes to promote great ideas to your friends and family and coworkers, or if you have a website and you like to deliver information that's of interest to like-minded people, our affiliate account allows you to actually promote County Records Research and develop a stream of revenue coming back to you from people that choose to subscribe to our service. You can either give them free access to our site for a period of time by setting up the affiliate account with us and then passing out a promotional code that we can customize just for you. So look at our affiliate login information if you want to go ahead and get started. And once you get logged in and become an affiliate, then you can actually add a research widget to your website that allows parties to research foreclosure properties and get some of the information, but not all of it. And then you get leads out of that you can in turn use to help develop your own business if you're in the mindset that you're going to actually use our data to help people buy properties and profit from that in the process. Okay. Below that is our trustee sale bidding service login. Now, if, as I mentioned earlier, we have a professional bidder that attends the auctions in 2 Pomona locations for Los Angeles County. That's on Civic Center Drive and on Thomas Street in the city of Pomona. The majority of your Los Angeles County foreclosure properties sell at these 2 Pomona locations. It covers about 95% of the overall sales. We have a bidder that works that location Monday through Friday, rain or shine, open to close. As long as there are sales happening that day, our bidder will be there with cashier's checks that she's holding for a variety of clients that are using our services. Now, whenever you use our bidding service, it's important to know it's absolutely free as an addition to our standard service. And you simply provide us the cashier's checks to support your bid and instructions on how much to spend on a property as a maximum. And this is important. We get a flat fee if you buy the property, and you set a maximum price knowing what that flat fee is, because it's not a percentage. And our goal is to get you the lowest price possible on that property. So wherever the lender starts the opening bid at auction, we're at a penny over that number. If we don't have to go any higher, we don't. And if it's competitive, then we'll go up in very small increments, and we'll make sure you're familiar with what those increments are on those properties. And we'll follow your instructions to the letter. You're in complete control. You give us a pool of checks to cover all of your bids, and then you simply have to be right once in order to get a great deal. So if you haven't looked into it, look into it, ask us questions, find out more about it, and you'll find out that it's a wonderful opportunity if you have liquid cash to get some of the best prices out there by bidding at the trustee sale. Okay, so that's our bidding service information. Now below that is our property search. Now I'm not going to jump into that until I'm ready to log into my account, because I do need to log into my account to jump into that section. Below that is our frequently asked questions page. This is simply a series of frequently asked questions with typed answers, so you know what the answers to those questions are. Pretty basic stuff, but it's important to know that you have 24/7 answers to all your questions so that you can use the website at your leisure. And if we're not available to answer your questions directly through our chat or through emails or through phone calls, then do remember that you have a lot of recorded information here, both audio, video, and written, 3 formats, so that you can access answers to your questions just like this 24 hours a day. So that's our frequently asked questions. Below that is our forms page. This is one of the most important sections of the site, especially if you're making offers. Okay, these are all the necessary forms that you have for making offers, for gaining entrance to properties, for giving somebody a 3-day notice to quit a property. If you're not sure what form to use, you can always call us or email us, or again, hit our chat button up on top and ask us that way. Remember that they're all numbered, and the most important document I would say on this report, on this list, is number 22. That's your real estate purchase contract and deposit receipt letter size. That's the easiest one to print out because it uses regular letter size paper. It's simply a 2-page form. Couldn't get any simpler. And if you have questions on how to fill it out, item number 23 is that same purchase offer but in a PDF format that's been completed. And it's set up also with a profile of a property directly from the website, so you have an example of exactly how to fill out an offer. Now in that example, he is making an offer subject to existing loans, and to throw a curveball into it, he's actually added a third loan to the mix because there was so much equity in the property that he was willing to ask the seller to carry back a third so that he could close the escrow quickly and without having to involve a third-party lender, because without having to pay down an additional loan that might have been there but wasn't, he's able to actually secure through creative financing closing a very quick escrow by buying the property subject to existing loans and then adding a seller carryback just to close it easily, quickly, so that he can become the owner of the property and immediately begin on doing his rehab and flipping the property. So at the end of the actual process of selling the property again to another person, then the seller of the property initially not only got some initial monies to move out and have so that it was freed up for the house to flip, the original seller also got a nice chunk of change when that third carryback loan got paid off at the close of the second escrow. So if you have questions on that, we welcome them. We welcome all your questions. So don't hesitate to look at any of the forms on here and let us know if you'd like to see any others, and if you have questions on the forms that are already here. Okay. Now below that we have our testimonials page, and this is simply different people that have recommended our service and continue to recommend our service. You might recognize the name of this gentleman, Mr. Bruce Norris. A lot of people know him, and there are a lot of people that use our service and give us testimonials. There are also some folks that haven't gone out and promoted us too heavily because they love our service, but they don't want to share. And that's one of the things that you'll find out about people when you're working with real estate, is that we're one of the best kept secrets out there. Once you start talking about us, people go, oh yeah, I know them. And you're going to be one of those people if you use the website and ask questions and pay attention to the little things that you hear as we're talking about researching properties. You're going to find that you're going to become an expert too, and you're going to find some great deals out there as long as you continue to do your research and subscribe to the service. Okay, now below our testimonials we have sign-ups for our trustee sale field trips. These are to get email notifications of when further field trips like our Santa Ana trip are going to happen. Below that we have our foreclosure basics tutorial. This is another sign-up where you can get emails sent to you. And then our email notifications option is something that you can set up to get further notifications on basic facts about properties as they come up in the system. And again, these are for people that aren't necessarily signed up with an account, so that you don't have to have an account to get this information, but it's also a benefit to you in addition to your regular account if you just simply want to get additional information as part of an overall learning process and part of your training program. Now, on that note, over here to the right, we have our training and support section. These are additional learning tools that we put on the website. Foreclosure 101 is an article that Kurt drafted some time back, and this is a great answer to a lot of questions, all built into one one article that's just laid out from beginning to end, from the start of the foreclosure all the way to the auction, covering the different ways that you can buy the property from the notice of default forward. So it starts with basic foreclosure suggestions and then moves on from there. That's our Foreclosure 101 article. If you haven't read it, please do. If you have questions, please ask, because we'll answer all your questions, and the more questions you ask, the more you're going to get comfortable with using the data. Now, below that, we have our industry terms and definitions. This is just simply a glossary page. Similar to our frequently asked questions, this covers the different questions that you might have as you use the site. Of course, if you're using it over the weekend and you can't ask us a question immediately, a lot of the terms you're going to come across are laid out here so you know what they mean. Okay. Now, below that is our free resources and links page. This is a series of links to websites for a variety of things. We have our flipperconnection.com is a recently created website for like-minded entrepreneurs who are wanting to buy properties and flip them and do other things with real estate. So that's been added to the site. Foreclosure Forum is a very helpful and informative website to learn more about different elements of buying foreclosures and creating ways to hold title on those properties, and also doing your own independent research. Ward Hannigan also has a lot of just helpful tips on how to have a balanced investment portfolio. So if you look at what he has to say, I think you'll be pretty impressed. Ward is also a teacher, and he's done a lot of presentations, seminars for us, as well as many other companies and organizations, and you're going to find that he's a wealth of information. He and his son Eric, they welcome your questions just like we do. Now, below that, you'll see some links for real estate clubs. You'll also see, if you scroll further down, that we've got attorneys' websites and even insurance carriers. So there's a lot of information on our free resources page. If you know of anybody that you think would want to be added to our resources page, let us know. Okay, we add people as we go, and we're more than happy to add additional people onto this page if you know of somebody that you think can offer a service or support that that belongs on this page as well. Now, below that, we have our video training. This is one of Kurt's presentations that he's done before. You can see that this has got a little dated because we're using the dry erase board, but the information's always valid. You're going to find that what's essential when you're using foreclosure property information is that you operate from a solid basis from proven methods, and that's what we offer you. In addition to the data, is we offer you proven methods of how to research the data, how to use the data, and how to acquire the properties safely and effectively, and in a way that is going to really develop a portfolio of properties for you. Okay, below that is our how to use the website. This is a series of smaller videos that we've created that demonstrate in very short formats, unlike this presentation, which is taking a little bit of a time, but it's well worth it. You're going to find that these are very short. Little videoettes where they're about 3 to 4 minutes long, and they focus on very specific topics to get you from point A to point B. So bear in mind that we're going to be adding to these little videos. We're going to be adding new ones, and we're going to be focusing on a variety of different questions that you might have. So these are going to be video answers to your questions, so expect to see this section get bigger as we go. Now, further to the right, we have our foreclosure processing section. What this includes, a lot of the information for someone that has a note and a deed of trust. One of the key methods that Kurt teaches for advanced investors is the ability to buy a loan and to execute your own foreclosure with us. He refers this most often as a junior lender buyout, implying that I'm buying a second loan while a first is already foreclosing on the property. Since Kurt developed that strategy, he's also found that he's been able to buy first loans while they've been foreclosing, and he's found that that's been a wonderful solution to acquiring properties where you can literally buy the first loan itself rather than buying the second and then starting a brand new foreclosure while you bring the first current. He just took one step out of his original junior lender buyout strategy. But I can tell you this, if you do it smart, if you buy a note, this is how he's been able to get some of his best deals on a property, is to buy a note and execute his own foreclosure. Now, if you're not sure how that works, it's all laid out here. You've got the trustee timeline that maps out exactly how a foreclosure works. It's a great wealth of information if you just want to learn process. Okay, so don't hesitate to get in here. You've also got forms that you can use for foreclosures. You've got a glossary of terms related specifically to foreclosure processing. And of course, you also have a contact us option if you want to send us an email and find out answers to any of your questions. If you want to start a foreclosure, you can also click on that and fill out the necessary simple information, and then we'll follow up with you and help you get started. Okay, that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get logged in on the site. Now there's a couple ways I can do that. I can select up on top, I can select my login option, and I'm pretty sure if I go here down here below and select property search, it'll let me do it too. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get logged in. Okay, now you notice that I put a username and password in here. Now down below I have a little CAPTCHA image with numbers and letters. Don't worry about capitalizing these numbers and letters, just try and make sure you have them correct. And you should be able to log right in. I think I've got them right here, so we're going to see here in just a second if I do. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. Now, if the image had not been clear enough for me, there was an option to hit change image, however it was. So now I'm logged in. So now you'll notice I am now logged in on the site, and it's taken me immediately to my property search screen because I selected property search, and that's when it forwarded me over to my sign-in page. So now, since I'd already selected property search, it's already done that for me. If I had selected login, it would actually have me at my welcome page, and then I would hit property search again. But this is fine. I like getting in just like this. Now, so you'll notice, since I've been set up with all 5 states, and I've got all the county zones, first of all, on top I have tabs for each of my states. Okay, so I've got Oregon, Washington, Arizona, Nevada, California. These are all my states, all good to go. Now, every one of these states is divided into a series of county zones. Now, for the most part, each county is a zone. Okay, but there is one exception in California, and that is Los Angeles County, which has been separated into 4 specific segments or zones. So I've got LA County West, South, North, and East. Now, each of my county zones is comprised of a geographic area, and each of these areas is defined by its geographic boundaries, but also we've provided you a list of cities. You notice with my cursor over the east in LA County East, I have this little dialog window that's opened up that gives me a list of cities that I can access within this zone. So this is my LA County East city list. So if I wanted to do research in Rosemead or San Gabriel or El Monte or Sierra Madre, then I know that I'm in the right place. Okay, so I can select 1 county or 2 or 3 or 4. I can keep going. Okay, I can pick as many counties as I wish if I want to do my research. Okay, so, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select 1 target area for the presentation. We're going to select LA County South. For demonstration purposes, that includes the South Bay, everything in Los Angeles County that's south of Los Angeles proper, and north of Orange County, and west of San Bernardino County, and the San Gabriel Valley. Okay, so this is our LA South zone. Now, if I wanted to say San Gabriel Valley, I'd use LA County East. Okay, so now with LA County South selected, I can go down further Now, here's a section called single property search. You're going to find as you use the website more often, this becomes one of your favorite search functions of the site. It looks pretty basic and pretty simple, but that's the beauty of it, because I can put in a street number or street name or a parcel number and pull up every record in our system on that property. This goes back a good 8 years. This is the way that you can dig deep into our archive. And this is how I research a specific property once I've gotten interested in it by finding it in my general property search. On that note, I'm going to go down to the general property search and show you exactly how I do that. So as I scroll further down, here's my general property search section, and the first thing I need to do is make a choice under choose one. So under choose one, we have our key statuses within a foreclosure process. Notice the default filed is your first status. It's the most well known for a lot of people. A lot of people call this pre-foreclosure, which I think is kind of a misnomer, because notice the default is the first step in the foreclosure process. A lot of people refer to it as pre-foreclosure because it's well before the auction, and it's actually even before an auction's been scheduled, that a notice of default is filed. Now, the notice of default is the warning stage to the homeowner. It has, or the property owner, it has in fact started the foreclosure process, but it also starts a 90-day time window wherein the property owner can bring the loan current without the property going to auction. Okay, so these are the notices of default. You'll also notice that's also our quote-unquote default on the search screen, because notice of default is automatically selected when I get here. You'll also notice that with a selection made under the choose one header, there's a listed date range already selected for me for notices of default. Now, just to make it clear, we have a huge database that goes back up to 8 years. It's necessary to have a date range limit on how many properties I'm searching, otherwise the numbers could be overwhelming. Therefore, when we pick notices of default, the system is going to give us a 2-week range. It goes back 2 weeks into the past, and it ends in today's date. So this is a range. Now, this range is 2 weeks, but it can be expanded or decreased depending upon the nature of my search criteria. Remember, this is a research site. We're here to look for something. So if I wanted to look at notices of default from the month of December, I could change these dates, and I could change this from December 22nd back to December 1st, and I could put this from January 5th to January 1st, and now I got an even month search for the entire month of December, okay, for notices of default. Now, for Los Angeles County South, for notices of default for the entire month of December, from December 1st to January 1st, because obviously January 1st was a holiday and it's also a weekend day, so there won't be any new records that day. I know this is going to simply give me the month of December. Now, you'll also notice if I scroll down a little bit, there are 2 different search buttons that I can use to activate a report. The search without polygon button is the most commonly used search criteria, simply put because we have a polygon map below and I haven't used it yet. Okay, so the polygon map is how we set up a polygon search, a geographical search based on a partitioned area where we use points and lines to create a polygon. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. But first, we're going to search without polygon the entire LA South zone for the last month. So let's see how many properties we get by hitting search without polygon. Okay, this is my report. Now we've got a little funny thing here. We've got a property that says it's over in Florida. This is actually in Southgate, but somehow the geocoding wound up in all the way over in Florida. So that's kind of an oddball. So don't let that fool you. All of these properties are in Southern California. They're in LA County South. Now you'll also notice that above the map is a part of the description. It says the map reflects 0 to 20 of 327 total records. So we've got a total of 327 notices of default in our LA South zone for the month of December. Okay, so now notice that I've got a map on top and a list below. Map on top, my list is below. Now, below the map itself, I've got some buttons. One says print, one says send by email. These are so that I can take properties from this grouping and I could do things with them. For instance, let's say I like these 3 properties. I could go ahead and hit the print button and create a cheat sheet that I can run with. If I'm going to go knock on doors, if I'm putting a list together for the auction, this is helpful in order to create a cheat sheet that I'm going to use the information for. Now if I just hit my back arrow, I'm right back at my list. Now if I wanted to instead send these 3 records to a buddy of mine that's in the Lakewood Carson area that's going to drive over and look at the properties for me and maybe make an offer on my behalf, then I can hit send by email, and then I can put in an email address, a subject, and my message. Hey, hey Bob, go check these properties out. Figure out how much we should spend and write up an offer. Okay, so I could, whatever my message is to my party that I'm sending an email to, or to my investor. I found these properties that I'm interested in buying for you. Are you interested? What do you think? So I could forward this information over to someone as an email. Okay. Now, let's say I don't want to do that. Let's say instead, I just want to get rid of that email page. Let's say instead, first of all, I want to broaden my list a little bit, because remember it says 0 to 20 of 327. Now to the right of the send by email button it says show 20, 40, 60, and this is just to tell the mapping function that I want to see more on my list. So rather than just seeing the 20 that are right here, if I want to see 60, because I know 327, that's going to be a lot of pages, 20 at a time, I can click on the 60, and now I just broaden my page. Now I've got 60 per page instead of 20, right? And now I can go through these and I can just go through them property by property and check them out. So now you notice, since these are notices of default, one of the things that differentiates a notice of default from a notice of sale is that a notice of default has less information because it's the very beginning of the foreclosure process. So you're not going to have an amount that's owed to the lender. You're not going to have an opening bid for the auction. The auction hasn't even been set yet, and that's why on the far right you don't even have a sale date. So there's a lot of blank columns in a notice of default list. Okay, so notices of default are the beginning of the process. This is where a lot of folks like to get started making offers, and realtors like to use this data to go approach people and get listings. So this is the notice of default stage, the very early stage of the foreclosure process. Now, I can sort these by a variety of different headers here. I can go by city, I can go by zip code, I can go by lot size. Notice anything that turns red under my mouse is accessible. It's hot. If it turns red, it means I can access it. I can sort these by estimated value if I want to. So I can sort these by a variety of different headers to divvy up my properties and organize them differently. Okay. I can also open up a profile. Let's take this one on Carroldale in Carson. Now notice something else. If I look to the right, I've got a senior junior loan column and a loan position column. So loan position indicates the loan that's foreclosing. The senior junior loan column indicates any other loans on the property. And because of that, notice that with the senior junior loan column, it says senior and then there's a slash and then junior loans. Now, for clarity, I want to point this out to you. Whenever you see the senior junior loan column, remember, the slash represents the loan that's foreclosing, and then the senior or junior loans will be on either side of the slash depending upon the foreclosing loan and what's either ahead of it or behind it. So on this property on Levelside Avenue in Lakewood, this is a foreclosing second. That means there's a first ahead of it, and in this case the first is $400,000 because that's what's ahead of the slash. Now the second one on Carroldale and Carson is a foreclosing first, and then there's no figures ahead or behind the slash, it's all zeros. So this means there's only one loan on this property. So this one on Carroldale only has one loan that's foreclosing. We have an estimate of value of $526,000 and an auction equity figure of $225. Notice it's positive. Some of these auction equity figures are negative. If it's negative, that means our system believes there's no equity in the property because of the amount they owe on the foreclosing loan. If it's a positive number, that means our system indicates that there is equity. So in this case, the one on Carroldale, the reason it caught my attention is it's worth $526 and it's got a positive auction equity of $225, indicating that they owe about $301,000 on this property. Now, if I want to see if I'm correct on that, I'll take my mouse cursor and I'll click on the Carroldale address and open the profile. So this is our profile on the Carroldale property, and I was right. They owe about $301,000 because they have a loan that is for $244,000, and they're delinquent by about $56,000, actually about $57,000. You do the math on that, you're right at about $301,000. So we know what they owe. We know that there's equity in this property, and we know we have an opportunity to go make an offer. Now, this is one of our property profiles. This is on a notice of default. So these are our least complicated profile. You'll notice that it's got the lender down below. Wells Fargo is the bank. It's got a description of the property. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath built in 1952. You'll notice that they bought the property in 1986. And the loan is from 2007, so this is a refinance loan. This is not a purchase first, this is a refi loan. So if I was going to buy it at auction, I would want to make a call to a title company to verify that our researcher didn't miss anything senior to this senior loan. Now I can tell you 99% of the time this information is going to be dead on accurate. This is going to be the first loan. It was a refi in January of 2007, and whatever remained of their purchase loan from 1986, that was paid off at the time. Okay, now we could be wrong, but chances are we're not. Chances are this is exactly what I need to know, so that if I was following this property to auction, I would make my plans and be ready to buy it then. But there's a boatload of equity here, so I would consider using that offer form from our forms page and writing an offer to this family to buy their property. Now, also notice that the address on Carroldale in Carson down below, this is the property itself. The mailing address for the property owner is the same. So this thing seems to be a family-owned property, seems to be their primary residence, so I could go to the house ready to make an offer to Lolita, who is the owner of the property. Now, I'm going to use the mapping function. I prefer to use the wheel on my mouse. It gives me a lot more control in the zooming function. So I'm zooming in, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select the bird's eye option and take a look at the property. So here's what we got. Okay, this place needs a little bit of work, okay? This is one of the things you might come across as you're examining properties. This house looks like it's got problems. Looks like they've actually got blue tarps on the roof. This place is not in great shape. So now we have an idea of the condition of the property. So we might look at this and say, given the condition of the property, the amount they owe is not that great, because it looks like this might be a tear down. For all I know. So as you examine real estate, that's one of the things you're going to identify quickly is, what do I think I'm willing to spend to buy this property, and can I get there from here? So I would make a judgment call. What do I think I'm willing to spend? And then pursue it from there. If I think this place is worth, let's say, $300,000 in its current condition, then I would take action on that. But again, looking at these images, this place looks like it's in really poor condition, and I would have to learn more about it. I would try and go make an offer if I was seriously interested in picking this property up, to see if I could learn more about the condition of the property up close and personal, and to see if the homeowner is interested in selling the property, since there does appear to be quite a bit of equity. But I can tell you, just looking at these photos, I can guarantee you're going to at least have to replace the roof. And there could be more issues with this property just based on what I see. Okay, but let's say I'm interested in it anyway. Okay, let's say I have an interest in this particular property. Well, first of all, if I wanted to save this information into my Properties folder, I want to make sure I've got a place to drop it, because this property is in the city of Carson. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my account, and I'm going to select My Properties. Okay, so I've just moved over to my Properties folder because I want to be able to save this property information. Now, in my Properties folder, I have a Manage Folders tab. I'm going to click on that because I have a leads folder, but I don't have a folder specifically for the city of Carson. And I want to show you that I can create one right now. So I'm just going to put my cursor in here and I'm going to write Carson, right? And then I'm going to hit add folder. Now I've created a folder that I can use. Now I'm going to go back to my search results page and I'm going to click on Carroll Dale. Now there's a reason I did that, because I wanted to reopen this property profile and I wanted to make sure that my Carson folder would be available to save the property into. So now I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now I've just saved that Carson property into my Carson folder on my account. Okay, so that's good. That's a good start. Now, what else do I want to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send this property by email to myself. And I could send this to anybody, but I'm going to go ahead and send this one to myself. All right, and I'm going to say this is from me, just really briefly, and I'm going to say drive-by, okay, because I want to check this property out. Okay, so I'm going to tell myself I want to go do a drive-by, and I just sent myself that as an email. So I've just saved it to a properties folder that I created specifically for the city of Carson. I've emailed myself the property as a profile. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out, and that takes me right back to my search results. Now, because I'm running long, I want to go ahead and close this one out, and I'm going to go right back to my property search screen. Notice, now I'm in Google Chrome as my browser, so you'll also notice that once I close out a window, I get right back to my main page window, so here I am. So let's say I'm really interested in this area of Carson, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up Carson, right? And I'm going to create a polygon around Carson. This is in my LA South zone, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of familiar with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I like this area. So now watch what I do. I'm going to center my map, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a point by left clicking. You can't see anything because all I did was left click. Now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go point. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go point. Now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go point. Now, what I've done is I've just left clicked, left clicked, left clicked. The website does the rest of the job for me. Now, once I get to the last points where I need to connect this end to make my little polygon box, I don't do that myself. I trust the website to do it for me. So I hit close poly shape here on the right-hand side, and that completes my polygon. Okay, so now I've just created a polygon for my Carson search. So now I'm going to go back up on top, and I'm going to hit save this search. Now, what the system just did, the system just memorized my saved search. That polygon is there, right, for Carson. So that's my Carson polygon. So what am I going to call it? I'm going to call it my Carson. Whoops. Try to spell it right. Carson polygon. And because these are notices of default, I'm going to call it NOD. Okay, so so it's my Carson polygon NOD, and I'm going to hit save. Okay, so now I just created a polygon that will now wrap all around Carson and give me any new NODs if I activate my notifications function. Now I have to do one zone at a time to make this work, but that's why I did LA South only. So now I'm going to hit activate notifications. Okay. All right, so now what I've done is I've just activated my notifications function. Notice how it's highlighted in blue. Oops, I had just hit it twice because it reacted slowly, so I'm going to hit it again. There we go. So now I have activated my notification function. Now it gives me the option to deactivate. That's why it went clear again after, because I clicked on it twice. Now, if I want to deactivate that, I can just by hitting deactivate. If I want to get rid of it by clicking on delete, I can do that. Okay, but I'm not. What I'm going to do instead is a little trick I love to teach you on the first webinar. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click my Carson polygon, and this is going to take me right back to my polygon search, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change it to upcoming trustee sales instead. Now, so this is my Carson polygon that I'm going to switch to upcoming trustee sales. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit save again. And what's happened is I've just saved my polygon, but I've saved it for upcoming trustee sales, right? So I'm going to hit my Carson, Polygon, NTS, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and hit save, all right? Now, what I've just done is I've used the same exact polygon for both notices of default and notices of trustee sale, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the activate notifications function, okay? And now I've activated both of these saved searches so that it can create polygons for me. And now I'm going to go, or so that it can send me leads each day for those specific types of properties. Now, as a last step, I clicked on my Carson polygon for notices of trustee sale, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit my search polygon option, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I've got a notice of sale listing. Notice how this is different from the notices of default. Notice how what you have is you have different colored icons on the map. Notice that you also have a lot more information on the page below. So you have a map and you have the different information down below. Now here we have a total of 27 records because I limited my search just to the polygon. So it's a much smaller report and it gives me a much more focused group of properties, okay? Now also notice that what I can do with these particular properties, because they're notices of sale, is I can go ahead and open one, and what this is going to show me, the auction information down below. So this particular property is going to give me auction information for a sale that's scheduled to go on January 6th, which is Friday. Now, what I'm going to do with this particular property is I can select my Carson folder and drop it in. Okay, so I've dropped that into my Carson folder, and one more step I want to show you is I'm going to go down to the bottom of the profile and I'm going to select the status update. So I'm going to select to be notified by email. I could select text, but I prefer email. So I'm going to say notify me by email when the status changes, because this is set to go to auction tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So I want to be notified if the lender drops the opening bid price at auction. I want to be notified if the sale gets canceled. I want to be notified if the sale gets postponed. So I'm going to go ahead and select status changes, and I'm going to go ahead and type in my email address. And then county records it helps if you spell it right. Okay, countyrecordsresearch.com. So email me when the status changes, and I send it to Bob at countyrecordsresearch.com. Now the key to this is I am creating an automated function. Just like I set the activated notifications on the polygon to send me any new notices of sale and any new notices of default, what I've just done is I've just modified this profile so it now has an automatic update function to send me an email to my email inbox to notify me about any changes. But in addition to that, I've also got this information coming to me through my account. Now if I go up to my account and select my properties, there are my properties. Now notice I've got properties in Long Beach, Fullerton, Carson, but that's because I'm in my general folder. Now up on top I have an all folders tab, but next to that I have my drop down menu, and I'm going to select Carson. And there are the two Carson properties I just added. So notice Carroldale is a notice of default. There's no sale information. There's no estimated minimum bid. 222nd Street is a notice of trustee sale. It's got a sale date for January 6th. It's got an estimated minimum bid. Now, I can download these as an Excel spreadsheet. I can delete these if I need to simply by clicking on the little checkbox and hitting delete record. I could delete the Carson folder altogether if I wanted to, but I like to keep, again, my properties in my folder as I need them. Notice also I have an email notifications tab, and my 222nd Street is now in that grouping. So if I wanted to get rid of it, I would also just select the checkbox on the right and hit delete. Now, anytime we go to delete anything out of the site, the system's automatically going to give us this little confirmation window. Click OK for deleting. So it gives me a fail-safe. I can back out of the deletion process if I want to. Okay, so I know this has been a very thorough training, and I know that you've had a chance to watch some of this information. We encourage you to watch this presentation again. Join us for our Wednesday presentations where we will cover a lot of these functions again. With different properties and different county zones. Join us on Friday when we're going to focus more on actually jumping in and doing actual research for the purposes of buying properties. The more times you observe our webinars and the more times that you look at specific properties and ask specific questions, the closer you're going to get to the point where this research does it for you. And if you save searches like I just did in my searches folder and you activate them this way, you're going to start getting a series of emails each week, each day as a matter of fact, as we add new properties into these various areas where you've saved the notification functions, and you're going to find that the website is going to keep you active, it's going to give you leads every day, and it's going to give you an opportunity to find the deals you're looking for. This has been Bob with County Records Research. This has been our introductory training video. We hope you enjoyed looking at the site, and we hope you're as happy as we are that we now cover all 5 states. We cover the entire West Coast and Arizona and Nevada, and we're hoping that we're going to give you an opportunity to find your next deal with County Records Research.